So before we begin, you just take your arms out to the sides and just check that you can turn around like this without knocking any ornaments off any shelves. So make sure you've got space to do that. And then if you can position your feet, either having them a little bit apart, or if you prefer, you can have them together. So whichever you prefer. And know that your feet are going to stay, hopefully, in this position for the whole of the practice. Halfway through the practice, I'm going to do this, but that's just so that you can get a better view of what we're doing. But if you can keep your feet planted where they are, and just take a moment before we begin to close your eyes, if that's okay. And if you just check in with yourself, so just noticing your physical body. Maybe noticing how you are, perhaps mentally or emotionally, or how have you been the last few days. And then notice also, if you can, your feet and the sensation of your feet. And then lastly, bringing your attention back to the whole of the body and the length and the height of the body. And notice that your body is possibly ever so slightly shifting or swaying, especially if your eyes are closed, by way of keeping its balance. In a similar way to how a palm tree also shifts and sways. You can maybe have the image of a long, tall trunk of a palm tree shifting and swaying in the breeze. And in the same way that a palm tree has quite a small root system relative to the length of its trunk, notice how little your feet are relative to the length or the height of your body. And then on an inhalation, gently opening your eyes if they're closed, and we'll begin. So if you take a breath in and stretch your arms out and up and lace your fingers together, and then as you breathe out, press your palms up, and then leaning into the toe bases to be able to lift your heels as you breathe in, and then lower the heels back down as you breathe out. And keeping your heels on the ground, just take a breath in and stretch up, and then swaying to one side, a bit like a palm tree. And then inhaling, centre, exhaling, swaying to the other side, and then breathing in to centre. And as you breathe out, turning to look behind you, and then breathe in to the centre, and then exhale the other way, breathing into the centre and stretching up, and then breathing out and taking the arms just out to shoulder height, and then very slowly as you breathe in, just turn the palms up. And then as you breathe out, looking into the back palm as you twist, inhaling centre and exhaling the other way. And then as you come centre, lifting the arms and the gaze and the heart. And then as you breathe out, if you dive forwards into a flat back forward bend, and then breathe in and take the arms wide. And as you breathe out, bring them back again. And then inhale to stretch all the way back up. And as you breathe out, take the arms wide again, bending the knees, and this time come all the way down into a forward bend. And as you breathe in, just lift the chest and look forwards and the chin. And then exhale, come back down, and do a couple more of those. And this time, as you breathe in, lifting the chest and the chin, and then shift the weight back into the heels and push the heels down to come up slowly. And if you have a head rush, keep your arms down. But if you're okay, then stretching the arms up. And then exhale and take the hands behind you. And if you lace your fingers together behind your back and then breathe in and lift your chest. And you can stay here if you prefer, but if you would like, you could bend the knees and come all the way down into a forward bend, either resting your hands on the back of the pelvis or reaching the hands towards the ceiling. If you maybe take another deep breath in and out. And then lowering the hands to the back of the pelvis if you lifted them. And if you lift your chest, lower the pelvis and look forwards. And again, shift the weight back into your heels to push the heels down, to come up slowly. And then once you're up, if you let yourself slump a little bit, and then you can more easily take hold of your wrists or forearms behind your back, or even bring the fingertips together and point them up your spine to see if you can bring the palms towards each other. And then if you lift and open the chest and breathe in, and as you breathe out, turn to look behind you, and then inhale, center, exhale the other way, inhale, center, and then to close this first round, if you just have a little nod of the head, or if you prefer, you can take it into a deeper forward bend, a deep bow, and then make your way back up and release your hands, and we'll go again for a second round. So breathing in, taking the arms out and up, and then lace the fingers, breathe out, press the palms up, and then as you inhale, push the balls of the big toes down to lift the heels, and then keep pushing the balls of the big toes down as you lower the heels so that you can come down slowly if possible. And then with the heels on the ground, just breathe in and stretch up, and then swaying to one side as you exhale, inhaling, center, and then the other side as you breathe out, inhaling, center, and then as you breathe out, turning to look behind you, breathing in, come center, and then breathe out the other way, and as you inhale, come center and stretch up, and then exhale, take the arms just out to shoulder height, and then slowly as you breathe in, turn the palms up, and as you breathe out, looking into your back palm, inhaling, center, and then exhaling the other side, and then lifting the arms and the gaze and the heart, breathing in, and as you breathe out, diving forwards into a flat back forward bend. Breathe in and take the arms wide, and then exhale, bring them back again. And then as you inhale, stretching all the way back up, and as you breathe out, take the arms wide, bend the knees, and come all the way down into a forward bend, and stay down, but as you breathe in, lift the chest and the gaze, and then exhale back down, and do 2 more of those. And then if you lift the chest again, and this time shift the weight back into the heels and push the heels down to come up slowly, giving the little cochlears in the ears a chance to rebalance. But if you find you have a head rush when you come up, then keep your arms down. Otherwise, lifting them up as you breathe in, and then exhale, take the hands behind you and lace the fingers together, and then lifting and opening the chest, breathing in, staying here if you prefer, or bending the knees and coming down again into a forward bend, either resting the hands on the back of the pelvis or reaching them up. But if you take some deep breaths and see if you can roll the balls of the shoulders away from your ears so that there's a sense of having some length and space for the collarbones. And then if your hands are reaching to the ceiling, if you lower them down, and again lower the pelvis and lift the chest and the gaze, shift the weight back into the heels and push down slowly, coming up by pushing the heels down. And then once you're up, if you have a little slump, either taking hold of the wrists or the forearms or bringing the palms together behind your back, and then breathing in to open the chest and exhaling, looking behind you. Inhaling center, exhale the other way. Inhaling center, and then closing this second sequence with a little nod or a deep bow. And then coming all the way back up, releasing the hands, and we'll do one last round. So, breathing in, taking the arms up, lace the fingers, exhale and press the palms up. And as you breathe in, again, lean into the balls of the big toes and push them down to lift the heels, and then lower the heels as you exhale. And then keep the heels down and just stretch up, breathing in. And as you breathe out, side bend. Inhaling center, and then exhale the other way. And as you breathe in, come center. And then as you breathe out, turn to look behind you. Breathing in center, and then exhale the other way. And as you inhale, come center and stretch up, and then breathe out and take the arms to shoulder height. And as you breathe in, just turn the palms up, and then gazing into the palm behind you. Inhale center, exhale the other way, and then lifting the arms and the gaze and the heart and stretching up, and then diving forwards into a flat back forward bend. And as you breathe in, take the arms wide, and then breathe out and bring them back again. And then breathe in to come all the way up again, stretching up. And as you exhale, take the arms out and bend the knees and come all the way down into a forward bend. And as you breathe in, lifting the gaze, lifting the chest, and then exhale and come back down, and do a couple more of those. And then if you lift the chest and the gaze and shift the weight back into the heels and push the heels down into the ground to slowly come up. And if you have a head rush, keep the arms down, but if you're okay, stretching them up, and then exhale and bring the hands behind you to clasp your hands. So breathing in and opening the chest, and either staying here or bending the knees and coming all the way down again. And either resting the hands on the back of the pelvis or reaching them up. But taking 2 or 3 deep breaths in and out in this forward bend. And then if you let the hands lower down onto the back of the pelvis and lower the pelvis, lifting the chest and the gaze, shift the weight back into the heels, and again push the heels down to come up slowly. And then once you're up, having a little slump, to take hold of your wrists or forearms, or bring the palms together behind your back, and then opening the chest, breathing in, and as you breathe out, turn to look behind you. Inhale, center, exhaling the other way. Inhaling center, and then closing this last round with either a little nod of the head or a deeper bow if you prefer. And then if you can, see if you can try not to fidget too much, but just let the arms release down and close the eyes and take a moment, if you can, to bring the attention down again into the feet and see if you can notice any sensation of the feet being quite grounded, almost as though the feet were like plugs and the earth is the socket, so as though the feet are plugged into the earth. Or some people describe it as though they have lead boots on, or as though the soles of the feet are glued to the earth. I wonder if you can just notice that quite tangible sensation of groundedness in the feet. Knowing that the mind and the body are not separate from each other, it might be that this groundedness possibly resonates in other realms of our being, so maybe mentally or emotionally or neurologically, there's a groundedness that resonates. And so taking advantage of this groundedness by gently opening your eyes, and if you then bend your knees and just reach down towards the ground and unplug your feet, and if you bring yourself all the way down onto your front body, so come to lie down on your belly if you can. See if you can find a comfortable position for your arms. So it might be nice to rest your forehead in the crook of an elbow, or maybe have the palms up by your thighs, just anywhere at all. Try to find a comfortable place for your arms and your hands. And take a moment, if you can, to stay here and feel how the whole of the front of the body is now laying on the ground and connected to the earth. So that part of us that we present to the world, and especially as we, some of us begin to emerge from this lockdown, it might be nice to be able to just consciously bring the front body onto the earth to ground ourselves or to receive some support. So staying here for as long as you need, or as long as you're able.